Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on with y'all? What's going on? Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. What's up, what's up? Friends of the Dayton Tolbert Show, everybody listening on Instagram, Facebook, my Patreon. Check me out at DaytonTolbertShow.com. But what's up with y'all? What's up, man? So, I wanted to come live today to talk a little bit about this whole LeBron, Stephen A. Smith, this confrontation, right? Everyone is talking about, was LeBron right? Was LeBron wrong? Was Stephen A. right? Was Stephen A. wrong? Were lines crossed? Were boundaries crossed? And I wanted to take my time, because I know this happened a couple weeks ago, last week or whatever. Um, and I'm not, y'all know me, I'm not that type of guy. I just jump online and follow trends. I don't do that. Oh, they're talking about, so let me come up. No, I don't. I take my time with it. And today I wanted to break it down a little bit. I want to look at it from a different perspective, because this is not just two black men. This is not about. This really isn't even about Bronny necessarily. This is about something that has been happening in our culture since slave times. This is something that has been happening in corporate America. This is something that's been happening in the school systems. It's happening all around us, and we're not talking about the root cause of the problem. So that's what I want to talk about today. So I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of background, and then I'm gonna talk about the actual confrontation. But I want to give y'all some history so you get a sense of what I mean by this. So, and let me preface this show by saying this: I am not a LeBron hater. I'm not a fan either. I'm not a LeBron fan, but at the same time, I'm not a hater. Like, some people like to hate on people because of their success and different things like that, so they find reasons to do that. I'm not that. LeBron is a great player. He's always been a great player. He's still a great player. He's one of the best players in the league right now at the age of 40, 41, however old he is, which is crazy in and of itself. He is the all-time leader in points. I believe he's top 5, top 10 in assists, top 10 in rebounds, minutes played, games played. Like, he's still out there playing 40 minutes, every night. He has his team, in the top 3 seeds in the West right now. So LeBron is great. So nothing I say, on this show, I want to be taken away from, his greatness as an athlete. But LeBron also, he's number 1 in points, but he's also number 1 in flops. LeBron is number 1 in crying to the referees. LeBron is number 1 in temper tantrums. These are just facts. These are just, like, anyone who watches basketball knows. Like, just Google LeBron flopping, or LeBron top 5 flops. LeBron crying, like, you'll see these things come up on YouTube. So he's also that. So I have some issues with him as a player. That's why he'll never be the GOAT. We hear these conversations. Who's the best? LeBron, Michael. No, Kobe's the best. That's, my opinion. Kobe was the best. Michael Jordan is second. LeBron is somewhere in the top 10. But he's to me, he does not have the mindset of a GOAT. To me, that killer instinct that we saw with LeBron, that we saw, with Michael, that we saw with Kobe. He just doesn't have that. And that's fine. But 9 times in the finals, I forgot, 9 straight times, which is crazy. He was there. So he's done a lot of great things, but he also has some challenges that, we'll talk, that I've talked about. One of the things that, and so I'm giving you this background because these are some of the things that I believe led to him confronting Stephen A. Smith. So LeBron is also extremely sensitive. He's one of those types of players where he's not great at accepting responsibility for, like, if you want to be a leader, you have to accept the wins and the credit for the wins, but you also have to accept the defeats. You have to take responsibility for your team falling short. And so he's always been extremely sensitive in that area. And one of the things we've seen over the years is he's thrown teammates under the bus. He's taken little subliminal shots in the media, directing blame, whether it's a coach or other players on his team. And so he's, to me, that's not really being a great leader. He complains. He's often complained about lack of talent. Although LeBron has played with, I think that he has the record for most playing with the most All-Stars in NBA history. He's played with more All-Stars than Jordan, Kobe combined. And so he's played with a lot of great talent. He's lost several times in the finals, which happens, but I'm just saying, don't complain about it. Don't keep saying, I need more talent, I need more talent, I need this, I need that. No, you do what you need to do. Kobe Bryant won a title with Pau Gasol and Andrew Bynum. You know what I mean? Like, these are people, I think Smush Parker, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think he was still on the team at that point when Kobe won it. But you do what you have to do. And LeBron has always been extremely sensitive in that he does not take criticism well. And that sensitivity, it affects him in various areas. And so those are some of the issues that I have with LeBron. Now, and again, still a great player. But what we have a lot of times is when you want something so badly, and LeBron has stated for years that he wants to play with his son. Now, Bronny James he's talented. Bronny James is the type of player that everyone can agree needs some development. He didn't get a chance to play in college a lot because he had the heart issue. Then he wanted to declare for the draft. And so he went into the NBA. Because of who LeBron is, LeBron basically said, look, I want to play with my son. No other teams draft him. If you draft him, it's going to be a mistake. He basically threatened other teams as far as drafting him, and so the Lakers took him at number 55, which is really unheard of. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of better players that were available at the number 55 pick in the draft, which is fine. I'm not hating on LeBron's ability to get his son to the league. That's not what this is about. More power to him. A lot of people did not like that. They say it's nepotism. It's preferential treatment because of who. Okay, well then what do you work hard for? Isn't that what you work hard for? To be able to give your kids the best possible life? Bronny James got a guaranteed, $7 million contract? That's what's up. Congratulations. I have no problem with that. But that doesn't change the fact that Bronny James is not better than a lot of these players. That doesn't change the fact that he doesn't belong in the NBA right now. There are tons of great players in the G League that are better than Bronny. And that's fine. He's getting the treatment that he's getting because of who his dad is. Listen, if I'm LeBron, my son plays basketball. Some of y'all have seen him play. I would love for my son to be in the NBA or to get the best possible life because of what I'm able to give him because of who I am. I would love that. If I was LeBron, I would be doing the exact same thing that he did with Bronny. So that's not what this is about. But you can't be mad when people call it for what it is. It is preferential treatment. He doesn't belong in the NBA. He does need to go to the G League, which is where he's at, and he's been doing really well, but they bring him back and forth. He'll play a game in the G League, then he'll come back when the Lakers, I think they play their home game. So Bronny will be available to play when the Lakers play at home, which is fine. That's pretty unprecedented. I've never seen that happen before. I've never seen a player go to the G League and then just come G League, then the home, the G League, then Lakers game, G League, like that. I've never seen that. Maybe y'all have seen it. I've never seen that. But again, that's because of who LeBron is, and that's fine, right? So, in fact, Bronny's been doing a great job in the G League. I think he's averaging like 21, 22 points in the G League. I saw him put up like 30 points the other night in the G League. That's where he needs to be. Now, this is what, so I'm just giving y'all some background for people who may be unfamiliar. LeBron he hears everything. He's a big social media guy, right? He's always on Twitter or wherever he's at, Instagram posting. He hears the talk. Let me ask y'all a question. Who remembers the show I did a couple years ago when Will Smith smacked Chris Rock? Y'all remember that? Great show, classic show. Check it out. All shows can be found on iTunes. iTunes, iHeartRadio. Just type in the title, Google it, it should come up if you guys want to hear past episodes. But that was a great show because I talked about how Will Smith was a clown for what he did. Because he did not respond to everybody who is taking shots at his wife, who is making fun of him. He didn't respond, he didn't smack, he didn't confront everybody. He confronted one person who he felt was beneath him, at least physically. And I said he smacked Chris Rock. But I mentioned on the show, he would not have smacked The Rock. You know what I'm saying? Let Dwayne Johnson have said the exact same thing. Will Smith isn't going to say a damn thing to The Rock. So why do it to Chris? And so I don't respect that. I do not respect, because there were plenty of comedians, there were plenty of people who made jokes about Jada. There are plenty of people who have had things to say about Bronny James. So where is that same energy for all of those other people? Why Stephen A. Smith? Because he looks a little weird, he's skinny, he's got a crazy receding hairline. I mean, my hairline was crazy too before I went bald, but it wasn't like that. Like Stephen A., that is blasphemous. That is egregious. You know what I mean? He should have been shaved his hair as long as he's been in. I've never seen his hairline cool, ever. You know, was he born like that? Was Stephen A., did he wake up, you know what I mean, out the womb with that hairline? Because that's crazy. But he chose, for whatever reason, LeBron chose Stephen A. to respond to and to confront. And I noticed something. And I was listening to, who was it? Dwayne Wade spoke about it. Carmelo Anthony spoke about it. And Dwayne Wade, who's one of LeBron's best friends, said LeBron isn't even the type of guy to go after you when you foul him too hard. There have been people who have flagrant fouled him, taken his legs out from underneath him, wanted to fight him, get up. LeBron backs off. Google Isaiah Stewart. Google, just right now, not right now, but after this show, Google Isaiah Stewart goes after LeBron and wants to rip LeBron's head off. Google that and see what comes up. Watch the video. LeBron, whether he did it on purpose, I don't know, but he elbowed Isaiah Stewart, who plays for the Pistons. Isaiah Stewart had blood gushing down his face. You've never seen, this guy was going after LeBron. Like, he wanted to really, it took like 4 or 5 people to restrain Isaiah, who's a big dude. As big as, or bigger than, well, he's not bigger, he's probably as big as LeBron. They had to, and he was running around the stadium trying to get at LeBron. LeBron's standing there looking like a scared mouse. He didn't want any smoke with Isaiah Stewart. And Isaiah Stewart is literally trying to get to him, 300-pound man trying to get to LeBron. And it took the whole stadium to hold Isaiah Stewart back. LeBron wanted no parts of that. Google it. I don't respect that. You want no parts of, you elbow a man in the face with a cheap shot. He has blood coming down his face. His whole face is bloody. I've never seen an NBA player that bloody in my life. But you want to go after Stephen A. Smith on some tough guy stuff. Oh, you're a tough guy. Come on, man. I can't respect that. So that's the first part of it. I'm going to get to Stephen A. because Stephen A. is also out of pocket. But I can't respect LeBron for how he did it. Now, on the flip side of that, some people were saying, well, LeBron was a clown or it was a weak move because LeBron waited till he saw him at the game where all the TV cameras were around. He could have just called him. Now, I feel two ways about that. Let me just tell you the first part of that. When you have a real beef with somebody as a man, like a street beef, or when people say it's on site, I'm not calling you on the phone. Stephen A wants to come on and act tough like, LeBron has my number. He could have called me, and I would have flew out to see LeBron if he would have called me like a man. Like he said, Stephen A says all this stuff on his podcast, man, looking like a weirdo. But my thing about it is, as a man, if I have a real problem with you, I'm not going to call you on an app. I'm not going to schedule a Zoom call with you. I'm not going to call you on a phone to have a conversation where I really want to see you in person. I'm going to see you when I see you. And so as a man, I don't have a problem with how he confronted him. You see somebody, you're going to walk up to him. He said, well, he waited until the third quarter. Who cares when he did it? He did it during the game. He did it when he saw him. He had something he wanted to get off his chest, so he confronted him. The problem isn't how he confronted him. He walked up to him and said, yo, leave my son out of this shit. Leave Bronny out this shit, whatever he said. But so the problem isn't how he did it. The problem is that he did it at all. The problem is that LeBron James is so sensitive that he is going to confront a news reporter for something that everybody had been saying. Or many people have been saying. Stephen A was not the only person to say what he said. So my question is, why not say it to all of them? He was very selective. LeBron James is an attention whore. He likes an audience. He waited until the cameras were on to make a spectacle of it. That's the problem I have with it. Well, one of the problems. I'm going to get to the bigger problem. This is just the surface level problem. But LeBron is sensitive. He's very sensitive. You know what I mean? Show me a time when Kobe Bryant attacked or confronted someone in the media over a commentary he had about him. Show me Jordan doing that. Show me, can't even remember anybody doing something like that. LeBron is just kind of like Drake. Very sensitive. I can see why they were, running around back and forth to Canada, hanging out, cheating on their wives and different things like that. Because LeBron and Drake are equally as sensitive. Drake lost a rap battle. What did he do? Did he take it on the chin like most rappers who lose a rap battle? No, he decided to sue. Not only did he decide to sue because of this rap song, the number one rap song in history, he decided to snitch on LeBron and to expose his cheating ways. I've never seen that. If I'm best friends with you and we have a dispute, somebody did that to me a long time ago, and we have a dispute, I'm not going to snitch on you. I'm not going to run to your wife. I'm not going to run to anywhere and tell the world what you've been doing in your spare time. People say, well, LeBron is so honorable. He's been with Savannah his whole time. No scandals. I said no scandals. What about Drew Sidora? What about, we just gonna act like Drew Sidora doesn't exist? We just gonna act like she didn't come on the Housewives and tell the whole world that they dated years ago? Well, LeBron's been with Savannah since high school. So what are we talking about? So LeBron I just want to be clear about it. LeBron cheats on his wife. Right? This is not This is, everyone knows this. This is not like a secret. If you follow the mainstream media, you might not know that. But if your ear is to the streets, if you know what's going on, Drake and LeBron are, listen, when you are in the hip hop community, right? If you're in the entertainment world, if you follow entertainment or you know celebrities or you're in that, environment, you know things, you hear things. When you're smashing video vixens, when you're smashing IG models, you think they don't talk? Yeah, they might sign a non-disclosure agreement. Yeah, they might not put it on TMZ. Yeah, you might not hear about it on the Breakfast Club rumor report or the latest with Lauren or whatever they got going on, just with the mess. They might not talk about it there, but guess what? People know stuff. And I'm just letting you know, just like if you follow DJ Academics, he confirmed all this. Drake confirmed all this. This is, you know what I'm saying? This is not rocket science. So I'm telling you this because sometimes people put these celebrities up on a pedestal, which is crazy to me. If you really understand how Hollywood works, you put these celebrities like Barack Obama and LeBron James, and people thought Kobe was infallible. Well, he was smashing a white chick in Denver, raw dog. You know what I'm saying? He didn't rape her, but he cheated on his wife. So I'm just telling you these things so y'all don't put these people up on these pedestals. Don't wait. Jay-Z, Diddy, for years y'all had these people on pedestals, and now look what happened. You know what I'm saying? Don't wait until the news hits. I've been telling y'all all this stuff for 20 years. I've been to everything I'm saying, everything you see in the news, in the media now, go back and listen to some archive shows. You're like, oh, snap. They done said that 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, show me something happening now that I have not done a whole 3-hour show on. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. So I'm saying all this. And again, I'm not hating on LeBron. I'm just saying things that everyone should know by now. Now, let's move along. Now, real quick, is LeBron the best? No. I already told you. You got Kobe. You got Steph. I put Steph Curry above LeBron. 4 championships, greatest shooter of all time. One of the best, he's up there with points, scoring point guards. Just Steph is Steph. So I would put him above LeBron. I would put Russell Westbrook above LeBron. Number 1 all time in triple doubles, killer instinct, one of the most athletic players, period, ever. Old school, tough guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, Russ is that dude. Averaged the triple-double multiple times. No one's ever done it in the history of the NBA except Oscar Robertson, who did it one time. Russell Westbrook has done it multiple times. He's the only player to ever do it. LeBron James never done it. So I'm just giving you, things. LeBron, I put AI above LeBron. You know what I'm saying? But again, so I'm just telling you these things. LeBron is not, I got to stop putting people up on these pedestals. Now, Stephen A. Smith, he spoke about Bronny from so Stephen A. took it to two. He approached the situation from 2 different perspectives, right? The first perspective is what I've been saying on this show, which is Bronny lacks a certain skill set, a certain skill level that NBA players need to have. He needs to spend time in the G League. He is not as good as people are making him out to be. He spoke about it from that standpoint. But this is where it gets deep. Okay? This is where we got to look at the role that Stephen A. is playing. Who heard my last show, the last time I was live, where I discussed Nelly, I discussed Snoop Dogg, I discussed the definition of a coon? Who heard that show? If you did not hear that show, go to DaDonTolbertShow.com, listen to it. It's still on Facebook. It's still in the Friends of the Daydon Tolbert Show group. It's on my page. You can listen to it. But if you did not hear that show, I broke down the role that some of these entertainers play and why they're in those roles, those positions of authority and influence. People like Charlemagne, Jay-Z, they are put there by the rich white man to tear down black people. Some people tear them down with their voice, their viewpoints. Some people tear us down with their ideologies, their images. You know, twerking, Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, City Girls. They are put there to diminish the excellence and the greatness of beautiful black women. They are minimizing our contribution and our imagery. We come from a lineage of queens and kings, and the enemy wants us to be viewed as nothing more than sexual. Turn on your radio right now. The number one songs are all sexual. The number one songs are all gang, glorifying gang culture. This is what the media wants to do. This is what the establishment wants to do with us as black and brown people. They want us to be viewed. Turn on these white stations. What you hear? Country songs, love songs, songs glorifying family, how much they love you. Trisha Yearwood and, you know, all these people, these great love songs. Taylor Swift. You turn on the black stations, you hear, you know, I want to bend you over. Give me some of that ass. You know, whatever the case is. And this is not what we are about. And so what happens is, when you have these platforms like ESPN, like The Breakfast Club, the most influential platforms that the world is watching, what do you have to have? You have to have people that look like me, that look like Stephen A. Smith, there to, there's a word I'm looking for. They want to present us in a manner that coincides with the agenda that they have for us. So what am I talking about? If you look at Stephen A., who remembers when Kyrie Irving is super pro-black, super conscious. He did not just attack Kyrie Irving on the basketball court, but he attacked him as like the watchdog, as the voice of the white man. He called him difficult. He called him everything but a slave. But he really attacked him in a manner that's like, whoa, bro, are we talking sports? Or are we talking something different? You know what I mean? Remember they told he attacked Russell Westbrook? Stephen A. Smith I'm talking about. Attacked Russell Westbrook, saying that he should be suspended for what he did. He told Kyrie he didn't deserve to be in the league anymore. Like, this guy is crazy, bro. Like, Stephen A. Smith has a history, and I'm not going to go through everything that he's done, but he has a history. And most people, if you follow him, you know what I'm talking about. He has a history of tearing down black people, specifically black athletes. He talks down on people. He acts like he's better than people, you know, and it's not even his voice. Let me explain something to you guys. I started podcasting, all right? Now, I'm not saying that like as a, you know, to brag, but when I started this, there were no platforms like this where you saw people on the internet giving their opinion in this way. It didn't exist when I started this back in 04, 05. And so what we have is people now are able to have an independent voice. Stephen A. does not have an independent voice. Stephen A.'s voice coincides and must coincide with ESPN's voice. What am I saying? The Dedan Tolbert show, I can say what I want. I can do what I want. I can't be fired. The Breakfast Club, that is not an independent voice. If you notice, Charlemagne is the ultimate coon, just like Stephen A. is the ultimate coon. These are people who are put in place by the establishment to be their voice, to tear down black people. Why do you think Charlemagne always goes so hard on people the mainstream media goes hard against? Whether it's Kanye West, Kyrie Irving, or whoever it is at that time, they send DJ Envy. They send the Breakfast Club. They use these platforms, Drink Champs, whatever it is, these influential networks and platforms to do their bidding. And so ESPN is the voice of the white man. Yeah, they talk sports, but at the end of the day, it's the same agenda that they had back in slave times. Do you know what a coon is? I told you guys on the last show, but just a refresher for you. Back in the day, you had the plantation. You had the big white house where the light-skinned slaves would be up in the big white house. They got to sleep in the bed. They got to eat at the table. They got special privileges. But in return, they were put in a position of power to watch over the slaves, usually the darker-skinned slaves that were out in the fields, out in the cornfields, the cotton fields, doing the hard labor. They were the ones cracking the whips. It was very rarely that you saw the white man whipping the slaves. You see the movies, that's what you see in the movies, but in actuality, it was the coons, right? It was the guys put in place to do master's bidding was the one cracking the whip. They were the ones when the slaves escaped, when Harriet Tubman got away and she was freeing all the slaves. Who do you think was out there running around with the dogs looking for them? The movies will tell you, it was the white man, but in reality, it was the black people. It was the watchdogs. So what I'm telling you is, you have in any racist establishment, you're going to have people put in positions of power to go against their own people. Whether it's the Breakfast Club, whether it's ESPN, whether it's CBS, you're always going to have some light-skinned person sitting up there shucking and jiving. Craig Melvin? I don't even need to go. They're everywhere. They're literally everywhere. Go to any network you want. You're going to see some light-skinned black guy, or a light-skinned black woman. The black guy is never going to have any facial hair. You go to corporate America. I spent 20 years in corporate America. And guess what? That's what you saw a lot of. The shucking and jiving. I had to get out of there. Because I don't want to play that game. I'm nobody's coon. I have my own opinion. You know what I'm saying? I have my own opinion. I have my own thoughts. But my point is, when I do this show, I used to have sponsors. And sponsorships is cool. It brings in money. But when you get to a certain level with sponsorship, whether you're, $1 million worth of game or whatever, your voice is no longer your voice. This quote unquote independent media is no longer independent when you have $100 million sponsorship. When Stephen A got his $100 million contract, they own him. When Barack Obama received, the largest amount of campaign contributions in the history of presidential races, his voice is not his own. Barack Obama received close to $1 billion in campaign donations from super PACs, from these corporations. Watch this. This is crazy. The same racist corporations that are abandoning DEI right now are the same corporations that gave Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden, but more so to Barack Obama, millions and millions and millions of dollars. Why? So that they can control them. These people are controlled. Stephen A is controlled. Now, let's get to the title of this show. You're probably wondering, why did I say the attack on black fathers? Well, if you look at history, now we've had the history of coonery and the plantation and slave mindset. When you look at, fathers, let's just look at fathers. But back in the day, when they brought us over in chains. They got off the boat, they put them up on the block to be sold. What's the first thing they did? They separated the father from the mother, and they separated the father from the children. You had the mother up there put on one side. You had the father up there put on the other side. You had the kids over there in the cage, the same cages that Barack Obama was putting kids in when he was in office. People think Trump started putting kids in cages. No, he did not. That started under Obama. Look it up. Obama was putting these kids in cages at the border. But that's a whole different story. See, you got to understand, the person to start it, the person to do it, has to look like us. They don't want to have the white guy look like it. They want it to hurt. It hurts more when it comes from you. When that sting of the whip is going to hurt more when it's coming from your own people. That's why they had Obama had. Look, don't believe. Y'all think this, the media won't tell you this stuff. Look it up. Look up, Google kids in cages. Look up watch this real quick. Look up who deported more kids, more immigrants than any president in the history of this country. Look it up and see what name comes up. It wasn't Trump. It wasn't Bush. It was Barack Obama. Barack Obama has the record for deporting more women and children than any president in history. Look it up if you think I'm lying. I bet y'all didn't know that. And they want him to look like us. To look like you. That's when it hurts the most. But I'm just telling y'all this so you see where I'm going with this. You had the fathers on this side. You had the moms over there. You had the kids separated. How do you destroy a family? You first have to separate the father from the home. Well, back in the day, they killed him. They beat him till he was too weak to defend his family. They shackled him. And then, now what do they do? Well, now they just put him in jail. Look at the racist crime bill that Joe Biden passed. He was the author of it. Let's lock him up. It's the same thing. Listen, guys, and I'm not trying to politicize this show, although it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because it is what it is. Joe Biden is one of the most racist politicians in the history of this country. We used to know that. When I was growing up, I knew that. I was taught that. But somewhere along the way, black people were brainwashed into thinking Joe Biden is for black people, which is ludicrous. Ludicrous. Joe Biden has always been racist. He literally calls people a boy on camera. And people, oh no, he's just old. What are y'all talking about? Y'all didn't learn this stuff? Where were y'all parents? Y'all parents didn't teach all this? Mine did. I mean, so what I'm saying to you is, one way or another, they're gonna get black men out of the house. Whether they put them in chains, whether they put them in jail, whether they introduce the crack into the neighborhoods, whether they put the guns into the neighborhoods, we kill ourselves, we get high and kill ourselves, or we go to jail, or they put us in chains back in slave times. One way or another, the black man is the glue. You take out the black man, now you have single moms raising these kids. And don't get me wrong, some of y'all single moms are doing a good job. You're doing the best you can through no fault of your own, other than laying down with a no good nigga. I mean, outside of that, you know what I mean? Aside from that, but I mean, you're making do. But these men being in the house is what keeps the family together. It's what keeps those boys off the corner. It's what keeps those girls off the pole. No disrespect, ladies. It's no disrespect to y'all, but something happens to the mindset of a little girl when she sees her dad not giving a damn about her. So if her own father doesn't give a damn about her, why would she care about herself? Why would she see something wrong with making money, with men putting dollar bills into her G-string? Why would that be problematic if her own father doesn't want her? What can these other men, these men on the street can't do anything worse than what their own father did when he walked out on them, or when he was just killed, or put in jail or whatever the case was. One way or another, their level of self-respect a lot of times is going. These young boys, they don't respect their father. Their dad didn't give a damn. Remember the episode of Will Smith? When his dad, Ben Vereen, walked out and Will Smith lost it. He crashed out like, "Oh, who needs? I don't need him." That was great acting, by the way. But that's real. Because that level of emotion that we saw is what these young boys see right now. If my own father doesn't want me, how can I respect authority? I don't respect my own dad. So how can I respect the police? How can I respect anybody? How can I respect anybody if I can't even respect my own father? If I see my mom bringing man after man after man into the house, getting ran through, how can I respect women if I don't even respect my mom? If I don't respect my dad? That's what's happening out here. These kids don't respect their moms. They don't respect their dads. And so they don't respect nobody. So they have no problem killing another man when they really want to be pulling that trigger on their dad who beat their mom. So my point is this. This is all deliberate. This is not a coincidence. This whole scenario I'm breaking down for you, you think this is not by design? This is all on purpose. This is their plan for us. Have the kids running out here, you know, what do you go, YNs? I posted a link, a meme on Facebook, a question in the group. It wasn't a lot of responses. Nobody wanted any real parts of this conversation. I said, who's more detrimental to society? YNs, young niggas, or Donald Trump? I mean, let's be honest, man. I mean, Donald Trump is a bastard. He's a real piece of work for everything that he's doing. But I'll take my chances with Trump over some of these young niggas. When you gotta have your gun on your hip just to get gas, because these young niggas want to walk up to you and then stick you up on the low. Yeah, hey, OG, you mind if I pump your gas for you, OG? OG, that's why I don't go. Don't get gas. If I don't know where y'all from. I'm from Philly. I don't live in Philly, but I'm from Philly. Some of y'all from whatever city you're from. If you live in the urban community, don't get gas in the hood. Because they come up to you, they want to pump your gas. They don't want to pump your gas. They want to rob you. They want to wait for that right opportunity. You better pray that you're not that right opportunity. Because that gun will come right out. I almost had to shoot one of these young niggas the other day. Not actually last year. Did that. Yo, OG, man, let me pump your gas. I'm like, I'm good, bro. I'm straight. Okay. Comes back over. And my kids are in the car, mind you. And my tank was on E. That's the only reason I went there. That's the only reason I went to this one. It's not even the hood. It's Mount Airy. You guys are from Philly. You know about Philly. But, yo, OG, can I pump your gas? He's like, nah. He walks away and he comes back over. Like, damn, man. Let me ask you a question. Walks up closer. My hand's like this. You know what I'm saying? I put my hand right on cause I already knew what time it was. Like, yeah, what's up, man? He's like, you know of any jobs? I'm looking for any jobs I can do, like legal, hustles I can try to make some money. I'm like, nah, man, not right now, not off the top of my head. Okay. He's like, okay. All right. And mind you, he's like in my personal space. I already knew what time it was. By the grace of God, he didn't shoot me. I didn't have to shoot him. But I knew, like, so my point is, some of y'all women out here are raising young niggas. Right? And again, I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying, we are so passionate about these things, these other things, we're not even understanding. Some of your kids are actual young niggas. Y'all don't even know it. Maybe you know it, maybe you don't. I do a mentorship program at my kids' school. We just had the Sixers come in to speak to these kids yesterday. Some of these kids that I mentor are young niggas. We're trying to get the niggardly behavior out of them, but they're still young niggas. They're being raised by single moms in most cases. Dad is going. So again, I'm taking some time with this because I want y'all to understand what I'm saying. There is an attack on black fathers. You remove the fathers out of the home. The mother is vulnerable. The kids are vulnerable. I mean, I see it every day. I can only imagine how my son would turn out if I was not right there to put a foot in his ass. He's a great kid, don't get me wrong. Great kid. I have no problems with him. But why do you think that is? Why do you think that? Who's seen my kids? Does anyone, some of y'all know my kids? My daughter is a finalist to be valedictorian of her school in 8th grade. Between like her and another girl. I believe my daughter will get it. We'll see. Pray for her. My son is a great kid. My kids are great kids. Why do you think that is? Play the Jeopardy music. Somebody play the Jeopardy music and tell me, why are my kids great kids? I don't know. Maybe because I'm a great father. Maybe because I'm actually in the home with my wife. My wife is a great mother. It's not rocket science, guys. It's not. We make it complicated, but it's not. You had a great, I grew up with my father, married to my mom. At the time when he passed, he was married to my mom. My wife's parents were married until they passed on. Great parents. They raised 2 great daughters. My wife, her sister. It's not rocket science. The mainstream media, the establishment, the government, whatever you want to call it, Illuminati, I don't care what you call it, they have an agenda to break up what I just described. They don't want my daughter to be valedictorian. They want her on a pole somewhere twerking to Megan Thee Stallion. Let me tell y'all something, man. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Watch this. My kids know, they listen to music. I'm not going to act like they don't listen to me. But guess what? And I'm proud of this. My daughter will hear it. She sings a song, come on the radio. Most of the lyrics are crazy. The music is crazy. She doesn't sing the curse words. She doesn't sing or rap the inappropriate words. That might seem minor to you. That might not seem like a big deal. And it's not just because I'm around. That's just what she does. She just won't sing that part. And I'm just, and you know just like I know, these kids out here know the words to these songs. They sing the words to these songs. They dance, they twerk to these songs. They don't bleep them out. They don't skip that part. They sing that part. And we as Black people need to get back to old school parenting. If your son needs a whooping, beat him. If your daughter needs her mouth slapped, smack that mouth. Stop being afraid to discipline your kids. You know what I mean? Stop. You only got to do it a couple of good times. That's it. I got beatings when my dad whooped my ass. You know what I'm saying? But look how I turned out. I think I turned out okay. I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm fine. I had to whoop my son one time. Just once in his life. And guess what? Never had to do it again. I'm not opposed to doing it again if I need to. He knows. He knows what's up. And that's how it should be. That's how it should be. I've never had to whoop my daughter. Never. Never had. Not opposed to it. Oh, she's a little old now. She's 13. But I've never had to. Neither is my wife. I'm just sharing this information with y'all because some of y'all kids, some of these kids out here are victims of the agenda. I'm going to get back to Stephen A. I'm going to get back to Stephen A. and Lebron. But this is important stuff because you need to understand what Stephen A. represents. He represents that agenda. Listen to him. Some of y'all don't listen to him. Why do y'all think he has this podcast? See, watch this. See, I don't... For a long time, Stephen A. just reported sports. So he was on First Take with Skip Bayless, and they talked about the sports. But that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. that was not, he did not have a vehicle, a platform where he could adequately carry out their agenda. So what do? Okay, we got an idea. Let's give Stephen A. his own podcast. And now this way, we can allow him to speak on topics that, we want him to speak about in the way we want it to be spoken about on a large platform. Yeah, it's a podcast, but he still has the same audience. Now we can get him to talk about some of these topics that further our agenda. This is what they do. And if you listen to him, you will see what I mean. From now going forward, when you hear Stephen A., watch how he tears down black people. It's not hard to notice. Now that you're aware of it, now that I'm speaking about it, you'll go, oh, snap. Damn, he was right. Damn, why is he so hard on black people? Why is he going so hard? He doesn't go this hard on Nikola Jokic. He doesn't go this hard on Steve Kerr, but he's the first to criticize some of these black coaches. This guy's a bastard, man. I mean, Stephen A. is a real piece of work, man. I tell you. So let me tell you this. So this is the issue. Now, I told you earlier in the beginning of the show that LeBron James is extremely sensitive, right? Extremely sensitive. However, he was not wrong for being mad at what Stephen A. said. Everything else was fine. You criticized Bronny, his game, his athletic ability, his skill, but this is the one area that LeBron James was, although LeBron had a problem. First of all, LeBron and Stephen A. don't get along. I don't know if y'all would know this, but this is a well-known thing. Dwayne Wade was talking about Carmelo. Everybody knows this. Everyone who knows sports knows. They never have. Stephen A. has said it. He said, I don't like LeBron. LeBron doesn't like me. He said that. So they don't like each other. So what happened is LeBron would have been mad regardless what Stephen A. said about Bronny. He just doesn't want Stephen A. to talk about Bronny at all. But so that's LeBron's sensitivity. But from my perspective, as a non-sensitive person, this is where Stephen A. messed up at. He said, not the criticism, because he's saying the same thing. We're saying the same thing about his skill. That's fine. That's his job. But what your job is not, Stephen A., is to criticize LeBron as a father. And this is what Stephen A. said. He said, LeBron, as a father, and that's my Stephen A. impression, as a father, LeBron, you are doing your child a disservice. Let that man go to the G League and do it here. As a father, I beg you, LeBron. I beg you, as a father. Like, what? As a father? Like, who are you talking to? You see, that's like a man, somebody come up to me and be like, yo, as a father, Dedan, you need to be doing, like, first of all, who are you to tell me what I need to do as a father? I just told you, my kids are good. My kids are fine. So you don't need to tell me nothing about being a father. In fact, I don't think anybody can tell me anything about being a father. You know what I'm saying? My kids have never wanted for anything. I may have the best kids ever. I'm just being honest. I think I may just have the best kids ever. That is my opinion. But that's how I'm supposed to feel. But nobody can tell me anything about being a father. Not one person. But that, as a father, that's how you're supposed to feel. So Stephen A., who does he think he is to tell someone as a father what they should be doing? Stephen A. is not married. I'm not going to speak on his relationship with his kids because I don't know anything about his kids. I really don't care. But, I mean, he has no right to criticize LeBron as a father. You want to criticize my son as a basketball player, that's fine. But America, the government, the establishment, the Illuminati, whoever you want to call it, There is an attack on black fathers, as I told you, which goes back to slavery. Stephen A. is that voice. There's a reason he's attacking LeBron as a father. You thought that was just his opinion? You thought that was just Stephen A.'s opinion? No, it's not his opinion. It's their opinion being spoken through Stephen A. I've never heard, look up Jason Whitlock, look up, Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, Kendrick Perkins, any of these, Kenny Smith, anybody. I've never heard anybody criticize LeBron James as a father. I've heard many people criticize LeBron James, just like me. I criticized him for the first 10 minutes of this show. The number one flopper in the history of the NBA. No, that's crazy. He's the number one flopper. No one has flopped more. You got, oh God. Oh, like, what the hell, bro? What are you doing, bro? Get up. You 7 feet tall. I play basketball twice a week. I'm getting beat up every single day. I'm not flopping. I get punched in the face, elbows. These are guys in the NBA, 300-pound men. This guy's on the floor crying about getting tapped in the head. You serious? That's crazy. And I play basketball like literally 2 times a week. I'm sore right now. I usually do these shows in the morning. Why you think it's 3 o'clock? I'm sore. I'm like, man, I can't even walk sometimes after these games, but it's good cardio. That's why I'm not 400 pounds like some of these dudes out here, man. Y'all gotta get y'all cardio up. Stop being fat, man. See, people want to attribute health issues and weight issues to whatever they want to attribute it to, but you gotta get in the gym. You gotta get some cardio in. That's just a little PSA. Stop being lazy, man. Stop. We got to start taking our health seriously. I'm speaking to the men. Go get a prostate exam. Go get, a physical. Stop eating junk food. Stop drinking these sodas. Stop drinking beer and getting drunk on the weekends, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no big diesel dude or anything like that, but I just, I still try to be healthy. I still try to be active. Go buy a Fitbit. You guys out here buying this Gucci and all this other crap. You need to go buy a Fitbit and get those 10,000, 20,000 steps in, man. People are crazy. Wondering why you can't get a girl, a woman out here because you're fat. These guys are crazy out here complaining, oh my God, these women out, there's no good women. It's very few, don't get me wrong. But these guys complaining they can't get a wife. No, it's because you're fat. It's because you don't take care of yourself. Am I lying, ladies? Am I lying? I'm not lying, man. Sometimes when I don't go live for, I gotta keep it extra real, but y'all need the realness. Y'all want the real. Y'all want these weirdos out here doing these podcasts. But anyway, listen. But do y'all see where I'm coming from? I'm not gonna be on here all day. But we got to get out of this slave mindset where we follow the coons. See, the slaves didn't have a choice. Kanye tried to say some crazy stuff, talking about slavery was a choice. No, it wasn't a choice. They had no choice. They had to do what the slave master said and his attack dog, his watchdog said. They had to do that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to follow these rules, these guidelines. You don't have to listen to Stephen A. Smith critique black fathers. That's crazy. So let's break it all down. Was LeBron wrong for confronting Stephen A. Smith? He was wrong for his overall dislike of what Stephen A. said. But specifically, the attack on him as a father, LeBron James was not wrong. Not at all. Was he wrong how he did it? I don't really think so. On site is on site. If I have a real issue with you, I'm going to see you when I see you. We're going to talk about it. He talked about it in the way that he saw fit. But like I said, he would not have done that had it been somebody else. So I'm like I said, I feel conflicted about it, but that's how I feel. You know, it's complicated. That's why this is not a 5-minute video. Somebody asked me through text, yo, what do you think about LeBron and Stephen A? You think? I said, just listen to the show, bro. I'm gonna text you the show when it's done. Like, it's complicated. It's complicated because it's not just Stephen A. It's not just Stephen A. Smith. It's the overall attack on black fathers. We as black men have to get back to what we did and we pledged to do at the Million Man March. That was not a political march. That was a march where black men around the world came together to pledge to be better fathers, to be better husbands, and to be better men. We need another Million Man March. Not another march to protest Donald Trump. Because what Trump is doing, I'm not going to make this about Trump, but what Trump is doing is not Trump. This is the overall plan. This is the establishment's plan that's been in place for decades, for centuries. This is y'all. If Donald Trump died, 6 months ago, guess what? Everything that's happening now would still happen. This is their plan. This is the agenda. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't get it. Let me explain something to you real quick. Every president plays a role. Bill Clinton played a role. George Bush played a specific role. Barack Obama pushed an agenda of homosexuality acceptance, specifically acceptance of homosexuality in the black church. There's not another president that could have done that. What other president could go into a black church and have a black congregation acting like homosexuality and gay marriage is okay? I've never seen anything like that in my life. But that's the role he played. George Bush couldn't have done that. Donald Trump couldn't have done that. Joe Biden couldn't even done that. That was for Obama to do. Go into a black church and you got the congregation clapping and cheering about gay marriage. Like, wow, that's what we doing? You know what I'm saying? Okay. But that's what Donald Trump is playing, the role that he was given that's pushing us towards a new world order. Y'all know about the Bible? You know what Revelation says? Everything that's happening is in line with what happens at the end of the world. You know how your grandma used to say, these are the last days? Well, guess what? It's the last days. The end times. The attack on... See, y'all get so caught up in the racism piece of it, you lose sight of the spiritual piece of it. Yeah, racism is real. But the Bible says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but instead spiritual wickedness in high places. Well, what high places are they talking about? Or is God talking about in the Bible? Presidency, Congress, spiritual celebrities, Illuminati. That's as high as it gets. Spiritual wickedness is far more important than racism. Racism is race, your skin. That's flesh and blood. The Bible says don't worry about flesh and blood. Y'all get so caught up, but that's the distraction. That's the distraction. Y'all more worried about Trump than the devil. Wow, that's crazy. That's really crazy right now. Wow. Rewind that and listen to that again. Rewind the podcast and listen to that, what I just said. Wow, that's like really mind-blowing, that what I just said. People are more angry. People are more worried about Donald Trump than the actual devil and the actual evil agenda that's been put in place. That's crazy. That is really crazy, man. It's crazy and it's true. That's what's really crazy, the fact that it's true. You know what I mean? But I'm here to tell y'all, pray and understand that you're still blessed no matter what Trump does, no matter what Stephen A. says, no matter what these young niggas do. I'll tell you something. I don't like Donald Trump, but I hate these young niggas more. I'll tell you that. I can't stand them. I really can't stand them, man. And I try not to use that word hatred, but like how some of y'all hate Trump, You like it's mind blowing that people hate Donald Trump or anybody in politics more than they hate people actually killing their own people. That's crazy to me. Like when I tell y'all, y'all think I'm making these stories up. Ask my kids. I literally was at the gas station thinking I was gonna have to shoot one of these young niggas because he wanted to rob me. Why would you want to rob somebody and their kids are in the car with you? That right there, guys, is worse than anything Donald Trump has done or could possibly do. You're robbing somebody of their hard-earned money in front of their kids. Name me one thing that Trump has done that's worse than that. Now, is Trump a motherfucker? Absolutely. But it ain't worse than some of y'all kids out here hanging out at the gas station, begging and robbing people for money. But that's the agenda. Let me tell y'all something, man. I'm gonna wrap it up, but LeBron, let me say this. People are bashing him, saying, oh, he's a clown, he's this, he's that. One of the things I like about that situation is LeBron, although he tried to act tough, he did not threaten Stephen A. He did not put his hands on Stephen A. He just said what he said, and he kept it moving. Was that overly sensitive of him? Yes. But let's not act like he did more than what he did. There's nothing wrong with the conversation between two men. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? LeBron didn't do something like he didn't violate the code of manhood by having a face-to-face conversation with somebody you got a problem with. Okay? It's not that big of a deal. This whole situation is not that serious. But what I'm talking about is serious. This agenda of attacking black fathers is serious. LeBron and Steve, they don't like each other. Let me tell y'all something. I'm going to wrap it up. If you... See, this is where Stephen A. messed up at. Well, one of the ways he messed up at. When you don't like somebody, I believe you should stay out of certain conversations about that person. And specifically, certain conversations about that person's family. Like if I have a friend or somebody I'm cool with and he's having a conversation about his family with some of his friends, but I know me and him don't really see eye to eye, I'm probably not going to have too much to say about that conversation. I'm not going to give somebody I don't like advice on how to be a father. I'm not going to give them advice at all. I'll give women advice, black women specifically, because I'm a life coach. I'll give y'all advice on how to get a man, like stop having sex, keep your legs closed, stop letting these niggas hit it on the first date, like respect your body, like that type of stuff I've been doing over the last 20 years. I'll give that type of advice. But if I don't like you, I'm not going to give you advice on how to raise your family. Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, it's certain celebrities I don't like. I don't care about Stephen A., what he's talking about, what kind of father he is. I'm not going to give him advice on his kids. That's his kids. But I'm just talking about this situation because it's what I do. But I'm not going to give another man. Why am I going to interject my opinion in your life over your kids? That's your kids. That's those LeBron's kids. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's doing. I'm not Stephen A. Talk sports. But again, remember, that's why they gave him that additional platform. Don't think, oh, I just want to do a podcast. I've been doing this for 30 years. And now all of a sudden I want to do a podcast where I talk about non-sports related issues. Be clear. And this is supposed to already happen. I'm surprised it didn't happen. Stephen A. in the next 5 years will have a late night talk show. The Stephen A. Smith Show will be a talk show similar to how Jay Leno or, something like that. I believe that's coming at some point. Because when you pay someone that type of money and they have shown a ability to appropriately carry out your agenda, they give you more responsibility. You ever have a job where you work hard, then your boss taps you on the shoulder and say, hey, you know what? You're doing a really great job. You know what? I want to actually promote you. I don't want to give you any more money. You know what I'm saying? But I want you to I want you to take on some additional responsibilities. You think you'd be okay with that? You say, sure, master. Sure, absolutely. Sure, I'll do more work with no additional money. Sure, master. I've been in corporate America. I was in corporate America for 20 years, so trust me, you're not alone. I know what it is. I know what that conversation is. Here, come and have a seat. Close the door. We'd like you to manage this team. Y'all ever been picked off the floor and given a supervisory role over your teammates? That's how it works in the big house with the plantation owner. The slave master. That's how they do it, man. We'll give you some additional privileges. We'll give you about a $2 an hour raise. Oh, great. I get to work another 5 to 10 hours a week for only another couple of, okay, great. I'll do it, sure. But that's what they did with Stephen A. Hey, Stephen A., we'd like you to do this podcast, man. But don't just talk sports. Let's make it about black people. Let's have you talk about whatever's happening in the media and give not just your opinion, but we want you to give our opinion as well. You cool with that, Stephen A.? Sure, I think I could do that. No problem. But make sure you go extra hard on the fathers. This whole LeBron thing, we want you to take a different spin on it. Maybe talk about him as a father. Don't just talk about him in the G League or how many points he scores. Let's explore the father aspect to it. You cool with that, Stephen A.? Well, I got this new contract negotiation we're going through. You guys think we could talk about that? Oh, sure, Stephen. I think we'll take care of you in a few months. But let's see how you do. Let's see how this year goes. And then at the end of that year, we'll reevaluate it. Last month, Stephen A. just got rewarded with a 5-year, $100 million contract. Stephen A. has the same exact contract as Draymond Green. I think Draymond got 4 years. 4 years, $100 million. Stephen A. got 5 years, $100 million. So Stephen A. is getting the same amount of money as Draymond Green, just about to talk about sports, as Draymond is getting to play sports. But there's a reason for that. But like I said, man, y'all get the point by now. Y'all get it, man. So I appreciate y'all listening, man. I just try to give y'all something different to think about, because it's deep out here. It's really deep. No Diddy. We have to, as black people, but more importantly, as Christians, as believers, we have to look at things from a deeper perspective, a different perspective, a spiritual perspective, to truly understand what's happening. Everything is not black and white. I know we want it to be. I know the mainstream media wants you to think it's just black and white, but the Bible isn't just black and white. So, like I said, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Share the video, man. Share the video. Follow me at DaDonTolbertShow.com. That's my Patreon for exclusive content. I'm going to be putting some, I'm going to start doing a whole bunch more content over there, and I'm just going to be putting it over there. So make sure you guys lock in over DaDonTolbertShow.com and add yourselves to the Friends of the Dadon Tolbert Show group. We have some great conversations in there every day. Follow me on Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff is Dadon Tolbert, and I'll see y'all next time.